the metric system. So what we've listed here are the metric prefixes with the basic unit listed in the middle, bigger units going to the left over here, and smaller units going to the right. Now, right below each one of these prefixes, I'm going to write the letter that represents each one. So, first of all, for tera over here on the left, we're going to have a capital T. For giga, a capital G. For mega, we've got a capital M. For kilo, we're going to have just a small k, kind of hard to tell if that's big or small. For hecto, we'll have a small lowercase h. For deca, that's actually a DA. And then we're going to have the basic unit. And for deci, we have a D. That's why we don't just use a D for deca, we use that for deci. And then for centi, we use a C, a lowercase c. For milli, an M, a lowercase m. For micro, we use this Greek letter, mu. For nano, a lowercase n. And for pico, or pico, a lowercase p. Let's get a little bit of practice with our names. What we'll do is assign names to these measurements. Now, to do this, I've pasted in a picture of some of the names for, as you can see it here, for length, mass, capacity, temperature, time, and electrical units. So let's start up here with centigram. So centa, all right, now centa, that's going to be over here with a C, and you can see that this is a mass, so this is going to be a gram, which is a small g. So we're going to write, for this one, we're going to write, let's do it in red here, we're going to write CG. Then for nanosecond, nano, I'll take it way over here to the right, there's a lowercase n, and a second, that's a time. So here's time, and a second we just use S. So what we're going to write here is an NS for nanosecond. And now what we want here is megawatt. So mega, that's a capital M. So we'll use the capital M here, and then a watt, that's an electrical unit, and a watt, way down here at the end, that's a capital W. So it looks like we're going to use a capital M and a capital W. So we're going to have an MW, capital M, capital W. And now we're going to come to micrometer. So micro, all right, micro, that's going to be way over here to the right. That's a small one. That's that Greek letter mu. And a meter, okay, that's a length. So we're right here, a meter, a lowercase m. So that mu and a lowercase m. So we're going to have mu m for micrometer. And then for megaliter, now mega, we just did a mega. We know that's a capital M. And this is a capacity, a liter. So we're over here, a liter, oh, that's a capital L. So we're going to have a capital M for mega and a capital L for liter. So let's write that. This is going to be ML. Now for kilowatt, kilo, there it is right there. That's a lowercase k, a small k. And a watt, we did a watt before. A watt's way down here. That's going to be an electrical unit. That's a capital W. So we're going to have a small k and a capital W. Well, then down here, we're now going to have a kilovolt, so we can probably get that one. That's going to be a small k, and then volt, that's a capital V. Do you see it down here? That capital V. It's an electrical unit, and a volt is right here, capital V. And finally, we're here at milliampere. So milli, that's over here on the left. It's a small m. So we're going to have a small m. And then we want an amp. So that's an electrical unit. And here it is right over here, capital A. So in this set of exercises, we're going to go just the opposite way we did in the last set. Now we're given the description, and we want to write the actual name. So what about the first one here, number 9, PS? Well, P, if you look over here in our symbols for P, or even up here, where's P? Well, P's over here at pico. So this is going to be a pico, and then what? Let's follow it over. Pico S. Well, S is for second. So what we're going to have here is, this is a pico or picosecond. And then number 10 here, we've got an M. Well, M, we're going to get used to this. M, all the way over here to the right, that's a milli. And this symbol here, that's the Greek letter omega. That's down here. Omega, that's an ohm. So this is a milliohm. And then K, W, well K is for kilo, right? There's our K right up there. That's for kilo or kilo. And W, this capital W, that's down here at the end. That's for watt. So what we are listing here is a kilowatt. And then in number 12, K for kilo, V is for volt. In number 13, we've got this N, so remember that N is nano, and capital A, that's down here, that's that ampere. So we're going to write, this is a nano ampere, or nano amp. And in 14, C, that's for centi. V, we may remember, is for volt, so this is going to be a centivolt, a hundredth of a volt. And mu S, well mu, you may remember, mu is up here, that's micro, so this is going to be a micro S for second. So we're going to have a micro, let's get it to right here, this will be a microsecond. And then finally, we've got this capital M, which we know to be mega, and V, which is over here, and that's a volt. So what we've got here is a mega volt. So let me move all this stuff around, because what we want to do now is see exactly what does this mean in terms of the basic unit. So what is a picosecond in terms of a second? What is a milliohm in terms of an ohm? What's a kilowatt in terms of a watt? So let's start by doing this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the basic unit here, and then I'm going to go up and then back down. So basic unit, this is times 10. So what this is going to be 10 of those. And then we'll multiply that by 100, so that'll give us 100. So a hectometer, say, is 100 units, 100 meters. And the kilo times 10 again, that's going to be 1,000. But now we're skipping a few. We're going to skip 10,000, 100,000, and go right to a million. So that's what this one is. A mega is a million. A giga is a billion, so that's going to be 9 zeros. So we're going to have 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So a giga, like a gigawatt, would be a billion watts. And now a tera, that's 10 times a giga. So now we're going to have 12 zeros. So it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what a tera is millions here, billions here, a trillion. So like a terawatt would be a trillion watts. A terabyte would be a trillion bytes. So now we're going to go the other way. Let's go down this direction here. So at a deci, that's a tenth. So that's going to be 0.1. A centi is 0.01. A milli is 0.001. Now a micro, that's going to be, we're going to skip a couple here. That's going to be 5 zeros and a 1. So this is going to be 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 1. And then a nano is going to be 8 zeros and a 1. So it's going to be 0.1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and a 1. And then this pico down here at the very right, that's going to be 11 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and a 1. So the first one we're going to take a look at is a picosecond. Now a pico, that's what we just did over here. We're going to have 11 zeros and then the unit. So this is going to be point 1, 2, 3. I'll separate them a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 9, 10, 11, and then a 1 second. Now, a milliohm. A milli, that's 2 zeros and a 1. So when we write this, we're going to write 0.1, 2 zeros and a 1, and then the ohm. There's our omega for the ohm. And now a kilowatt. A kilo is right here. That's a 1 followed by 3 zeros. So that's going to be 1,000 watts. A kilovolt, 1,000 V for volts. And then a nano, all right, a nano, that's way down here, right? So let's count them. We're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros and a 1. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1, and then a capital A for amp. And then a centivolt. Well, a centi, that's a hundredth. So we're going to have 1 0 and a 1 here. So it's going to be 0.01 volt. So we're reading it. 10th hundredth is a hundredth of a volt. So now in microsecond, a micro, all right, so micro, that's small, that's down here, that's 5 zeros and a 1. So we're going to have 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 1, and then it's a second. So if we try to read this one, it's going to be a tenth, a hundredth, a thousandth, 10,000th, 100,000th, a millionth. So a microsecond is 1 millionth of a second. And then let's come to this one, megawatt, megavolt. So mega, we know is the capital M, so that's going to be, that's a million. And then a V for volt. So let's write that's going to be a million. And then a capital V for volt. Let's finish up with just one more problem. What we want to do is convert this to get rid of all the zeros. So just write it in terms of like that 7 and then what prefix would we put on watt. Let's try this problem here. What we have is a tenth, hundredth, thousandth, 10,000th, 100,000th, millionth. We've got 7 millionths of a watt. Can we just write that in terms of the 7 and the watt? Well, let's just look over here to count our number of zeros. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, and then a 7. So it's like 7 times 1, but we've got 5 zeros. Now come over here. Which one of these has 5 zeros? Well, how about this one here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 1 times 7 would give us our 7. But this is a micro. So how about if we write here, what we have are 7 microwatts. In number 18, we've got 2,000 volts. Now, what is 2,000? Well, we've got 3 zeros in here. So if I come up here, I see 3 zeros at kilo. So this is going to be, and then a 1 times a 2 is a 2. So it's going to be 2 kilovolts. So I'm getting these just by counting the number of zeros that we've got.